Narrator, toned, terrified in the dark alley, I was maliciously surrounded by a group of thugs, cold sweat dripping down my back.
What do you want? I'm warning you. I've already called the police.
The coach had reminded me to rest well tonight after leaving the football field, to prepare for the Youth World Cup tomorrow. I clenched my fists, hoping to scare them off.
Run, kid. Let's see where you can go.
I staggered back, frantically dialing Emily's number for help. Seeing the phone screen go black, I quickly dialed 911. Just as the call connected, one of the thugs snatched my phone away. Narrator, toned, terrified, several of them stepped forward, pinning my shoulders down, making it impossible for me to move. The lead thug punched me hard in the temple. I shook my head, trying to fight off the dizziness.
My girlfriend will be here soon with my teammates. You'd better leave while you can.
Girlfriend? You mean Emily?
My heart sank. How did he know my girlfriend's name was Emily? Panic surged through me, various doubts racing through my mind.
Let me tell you, it was Miss Emily who asked us to take care of you today.
I felt as if I had been struck by lightning, my feet involuntarily stepping back. The next second, they forcibly pressed me to the ground. Unprecedented fear surged through my heart. My body began to tremble under the impact of the rain. Through the gaps between their moving bodies, I saw Emily. She stood calmly in the distance, her beautiful face cold and indifferent. She held the sunshade I had carefully chosen for her.
I'll give you money, as much as you want, just let me go.
They were unmoved, raising the pipes and striking my legs repeatedly. Pain surged through my body, wounds appearing one after another. The entire alley echoed with my heart-wrenching screams. I lay on the ground, my eyes fixed on Emily, hoping she would call them off. But her gaze never lingered on me.
Alex, you can't blame me. You and James were fighting for the forward position. Whatever James wants, I'll give him, no matter the cost.
Narrator, tone, sad tears mixed with rain blurred my face and soaked my heart. The woman I had loved for 8 years was now destroying my life for her so-called first love. For 8 years, I had cared for her meticulously, but in her eyes, it was always that man. The man who had left her for glory and gone abroad. She seemed to forget that during those dark days of heartbreak, it was I who stayed by her side every day. But I never thought that as soon as that man returned, I would lose everything. Even the most important thing in my life.
Emily, you heartless woman! You'll regret this!
She not only took away my mobility. She also took away my dreams, my future. From now on, I would never be able to sweat on the field I loved. She left me with nothing, trampling my dignity into the ground. I hated her so much. So much. After the rain stopped, the thugs had long disappeared. My left leg had completely lost feeling. I didn't dare to look at the mangled wound. I could only painfully reach for my phone, gripping it tightly in my hand. My voice turned dry and hoarse, and countless cries for help did not move Emily to show any mercy. But then she stepped forward, gently squatting down to wipe the rain off my face, ignoring my hatred.
Michael, give the forward position to James, and I promise to marry you and be good to you for life.
Emily, get lost. I will never forgive you, ever.
A flash of pain crossed her eyes, making her look like a different person from the one who had watched coldly before. I wanted to tear off this woman's mask. Her hypocritical kindness only made me sick. I no longer hoped to marry her. Nor did I need her charity-like love. For 8 years, I had given her everything. I thought that after James left, I could finally become an indispensable part of her life. But reality slapped me hard in the face. She now showed me with her actions that those 8 years of companionship were a joke compared to James. That morning, she called me, her words full of disdain. When she mentioned James, her face was filled with a shy smile. She praised him as a rare forward genius. Her words implied that I should withdraw from this competition for her affection. At that time, my heart was bitter, but I still stood my ground.
Emily, this match will be fair competition. I might not lose.
Years of hard work were meant to make me a source of national pride. But I never expected that on the eve of the final match, she would strip me of my chance to stand on the court again, allowing James to win without a fight. From then on, I lost the qualification to compete at the top, losing completely. I closed my eyes, no longer looking at her. Her false kindness and promises filled me with disgust. Emily's phone rang, making me open my pain-filled eyes. She was in the car with me, heading to the hospital.
Emily, I'm suddenly a bit nervous. Can you come and take a walk with me to relax?
Emily immediately had the driver change the route. Panic flashed across my face. If my leg was treated in time, I might still stand on the court in the future. Although I was filled with resentment towards her, at this moment, she was my only hope. I tightly grasped her hand, looking at her with burning eyes.
Emily, think about the bond we once had. You can't do this to me. I just ask you to take me to the hospital. I don't want the forward position anymore. I will leave this city and never bother you again.
I gritted my teeth, enduring the humiliation, treating her as my last straw, afraid of saying goodbye to the court I loved. But no matter how I pleaded, I couldn't make Emily change her mind.
Michael, just hold on a bit longer. James will be anxious if he doesn't see me.
I stared at her, letting go of her hand, and shouted at the driver in a fit of emotion.
Stop the car! Stop the damn car! Emily, what did I ever do to you? Just take me to the hospital.
The pain in my leg made me clench my teeth, my body trembling from the agony. The rain started hitting the car window again, the sound of the storm symbolizing the end of my love. Emily frowned, looking at me with impatience.
You're such a winner. It's just a leg. You want to go to the hospital? Fine, go yourself.
She had the driver stop and then pushed me out of the car, driving away, leaving me in a cloud of exhaust. I lay on the ground like a stray dog, my heart filled with hatred, letting out a gut-wrenching howl. Emily spoke so lightly. I lost not just a leg but half a lifetime of effort. I was dropped off in the suburbs, where few cars passed by. My phone had fallen into the mud earlier. I crawled forward with difficulty, hoping to reach my phone to call for help. But the pain in my leg overwhelmed my nerves. Just as I was about to reach the phone, I passed out from exhaustion. When I woke up again, I found myself in a hospital. My legs had suffered irreversible damage. Even if I could walk, I would be limping. Lying on the hospital bed, my eyes were lifeless. The painful memories of last night were still vivid. The pain was beyond words. I understood that I could never again pursue the dreams I once took pride in. At this moment, I had never felt such deep-seated hatred for anyone. The overwhelming hatred and despair consumed me. I hated Emily's ruthlessness, hated her for taking everything from me. Emily appeared the next day, accompanied by James. He looked at my injured legs, his face full of disbelief, as if he didn't know all this was because of him.
Michael, I can't believe you wasted 5 years of my training.
Emily stood in front of me, her face full of sorrow, which made me sick. She seemed to have forgotten that it was her who had someone break my legs.
Alex, you must get better soon. I'll always be with you.
Seeing their hypocritical expressions, I couldn't hold back and slapped Emily. She covered her face, her eyes wide with shock, clearly not expecting me to hit her.
Emily, how dare you show your face in front of me? Have you forgotten how my legs got ruined? And you, trash, here to laugh at me? Climbing up by relying on a woman, coward. Now I can tell you, you succeeded. Emily, I'm done with you. May you two be miserable together forever. Get out of my sight, now!
Michael, I sympathize with your situation. I know you've always resented me for being Emily's first love. But Emily really loves you. You can't hurt her because of me.
Hurt her? She loves me? Haha, you almost made me believe that. If last night hadn't happened, I might have believed it a little. But the fact is she had someone break my legs and then dumped me in the wilderness after your call.
When I was with Emily, I told her that winning the gold medal was my dream, my lifelong pursuit and belief. My dad was paralyzed in a car accident and couldn't bring glory to the country. So this wasn't just my dream. Back then, Emily said she would support all my decisions. She liked seeing me run and sweat freely on the field. Now I understand she never liked me. She liked the image of me on the field that overlapped with James. I was just a stand-in for James.
James is back now. You can disappear from my world. I don't want to be a substitute anymore.
The once beautiful memories now felt like countless knives stabbing into my heart.
The past tenderness now makes me feel nauseous. Her love was the same, unbearable to recall. The pain deep inside spread through every corner of my body again. I was in so much pain I could hardly breathe.
Are your legs hurting again? I'll get the doctor. Hang in there.
Get out! I don't want to see you. Get out! Emily, are you satisfied now? As you wished, I'm now a cripple.
I'm sorry, Alex. If you had agreed to quit the youth championship earlier, this wouldn't have happened. Alex, don't worry. I'll marry you and take care of you for the rest of your life.
Are you even human? Stop pretending. It's disgusting.
I had never spoken harshly to her before, always treating her with utmost care, making her believe that no matter what she did, I would tolerate and forgive her without limits. Now, seeing me so cold and ruthless, she finally panicked.
Alex, don't be like this. I'm scared. Please forgive me.
If you want my forgiveness, it's not impossible. Break James's legs, and I'll consider it.
This is all my fault, Emily. I shouldn't have come back into your life.
Michael, can you be reasonable? What does this have to do with James? Can you stop acting like a madman, attacking everyone? Didn't your dad teach you right from wrong? If you want me to apologize and comfort you, fine, but don't hurt James.
Emily's face darkened instantly, the tenderness in her eyes vanishing. When she looked at James, her face was full of pity, as if he were the one lying here today. I closed my eyes, feeling desolate inside. My hands, hanging by my sides, trembled slightly with anger. Indeed, in front of James, I was like a speck of dust, never able to compare. I took a deep breath, choking back my sarcasm.
Emily, are you blind? Can't you see who truly cares? I only loved you and did nothing wrong. Does that justify you crippling my leg for him? Oh, no, the blind one is me. I shouldn't have fallen for you.
Losing control of my emotions, I picked up the water cup beside me and threw it at them. But what I really wanted to do was grab the crutch by the wall and drive them out. However, my body wouldn't allow it, even the slightest movement brought excruciating pain.
Michael, you're being unreasonable. Calm down.
Emily said with a hint of disgust on her face, turning to pull James's arm and walking out. I buried my head in my hands, crying out in pain. I began to regret ever falling for her. When we first got together, she was gentle, understanding. Everyone around me thought I was incredibly lucky to have found such a wonderful girlfriend. But the truth proved that her perfection was reserved for James. And I was just a passerby in her life. When James left her to spend time overseas with his new love, I happened to become her temporary prey. Now that James was back, he didn't need to do anything. Just one "I miss you" was enough to destroy everything I had built over 8 years. Emily didn't appear in front of me for a while after that, and I focused on recovering. I reported the incident to the police, but there wasn't enough evidence to file a case. That dead-end alley rarely saw any passers-by, and there were no cameras, so I had anticipated the outcome when I reported it. Given Emily's family's influence, she would never leave any evidence behind. During this time, she acted like a shy girlfriend in love. Every day, she posted intimate videos of the two of them on social media. These were what I saw during the sleepless nights when the pain kept me awake. At 2 a.m, the pain woke me up. The notification sound from my phone caught my eye. It was a photo of Emily and James drinking red wine in a hotel. There was a caption, but I only saw one sentence.
He said that no matter where he is, the deepest part of his heart is always filled with my image. He left for 8 years just to give me more years together.
Staring at it for a long time, I felt a deep sense of unwillingness. What about my 8 years of dedication? I started scrolling through Emily's social media until my hand stopped at the night of the incident. She had shared one of James's posts.
When you have a fierce and protective girlfriend, you will feel happiness. She said that as long as it's something I want, she will help me get it.
Emily had blurred out James's account when she shared it. But I recognized their hands immediately. How ironic that the ring I made with my own hands was now held by another man. Her first love wanted something, and she destroyed me to fulfill his wish. 8 years of sincere dedication, and even a dog would wag its tail at me. When the doctor told me my leg couldn't recover, my world turned dark. But I still insisted on doing recovery training, though my heart was filled with confusion. Walking was already a problem. Could I really return to the soccer field? The two people who ruined me flaunted their love without restraint. Why should I bear the cost of their love alone? I was so unwilling to accept it. But I never thought that as soon as that man returned, I would lose everything. Even the most important thing in my life. The excruciating pain penetrated my bones, and I struggled desperately in the rain, screaming.
Emily, you heartless woman, you'll regret this. She not only took away my mobility, she also took away my dreams, my future. From now on, I would never be able to sweat on the field I loved.
She left me with nothing, trampling my dignity into the ground. I hated her so much. So much.
During the recovery period, I endured unimaginable pain to stand up again. Unexpectedly, Emily followed me. She came to the hospital every day to take care of me.
Alex, please forgive me. Look, I made you some chicken soup today.
She seemed to have returned to her previous gentle and caring self. But I knew clearly that everything she was doing now was just to numb me, to make me forget the pain of my broken leg. Under her watchful eyes, I threw the lunchbox she brought into the trash.
You're recovering well. Apart from using crutches during rehabilitation, you can now walk on your own.
Don't you like chicken soup? I also brought some porridge. Would you like to try it?
Emily bit her lip, holding back the tears that welled up in her almond-shaped eyes, trying to coax me. Her pitiful appearance made it seem like I was the villain. But I didn't care. I knocked over the porridge she'd brought as well. The hot porridge quickly spread over her hand, turning it red in no time. Emily squatted down to clean up, her voice choked with sobs.
I'm fine. I know you didn't mean it.
Watching her deceive herself, I let out a mocking laugh.
Emily, listen to me clearly. I did it on purpose. Even if you were to collapse in front of me, I wouldn't feel a shred of pity for you. So stop wasting your time and don't make a fool of yourself here.
Emily's face turned pale, her hand paused slightly, and tears fell from her eyes.
Alex, please don't treat me like this. I'm so sad. What do I have to do for you to forgive me?
The always proud Emily broke down in tears, covering her face. Her pitiful state looked like someone abandoned, evoking sympathy. But forgiving her was something I could never do. Forgive her for breaking my leg? Or forgive her for repeatedly betraying and hurting me for James? Just thinking about these things filled me with unbearable pain. I hated myself for being so blind, and I hated myself even more for loving so deeply.
The doctor said that if treated in time, my leg could have recovered.
My voice was calm, no longer agitated. That day, I begged her, hoping she would soften her heart for once, but she still chose James. I never told her about the surprise I had prepared for her. It was destroyed by her sudden cruel actions.
I didn't want to give up the game. My dad wanted to see me shine for him. He was waiting for me to bring glory to the country, to see his dream realized in his son.
Tears slowly fell from the corners of my eyes. I closed my eyes in sorrow.
Alex, I was wrong. I was really wrong. Please give me another chance.
She sobbed, interrupting my words. I let out a cold laugh.
Impossible. Emily, I will never forgive you in this lifetime. Unless that precious iridescent pearl ring can come back.
Just thinking about the engagement ring I had searched for countless times made my heart feel like it was being torn apart.
Ring? What ring? Alex, what are you talking about?
How could it be? That pearl is a once-in-a-century find.
I answered seriously.
Emily, that day when you said you were coming to see me, I was full of anticipation, imagining your surprise. I found the ring you mentioned, hoping it would witness our love. Perhaps it was fate. On the day my leg was broken, it turned to dust in my hand and will never come back.
I showed Emily the photo on my phone. The pearl was so dazzling, so brilliant. But it was fleeting.
You broke my leg and destroyed the pearl I searched the world for. There's no possibility between us anymore.
Emily shook her head repeatedly, muttering to herself.
No, that pearl. I searched for years and couldn't find it. How could you? You're lying to me, aren't you? You just want to make me sad, right?
Seeing her like this, I let out a cold laugh. That iridescent pearl was indeed precious. It was said to change colors with time and seasons. It symbolized love, and those who possessed it would stay with their beloved for life, never parting. When I first got together with Emily, I knew she especially wanted an iridescent pearl. She once said that whoever brought her this pearl would be her true love. Although I found it a bit ridiculous at the time, I still searched for it because I wanted to be her true love. Until recently, I finally found it, thinking of proposing to Emily with it. She would surely be happy. Now it seems, I was nothing but a laughable clown.
I don't want the pearl anymore. Please forgive me.
No.
Emily heard my cold refusal and could no longer hold back, collapsing on the ground and crying without any dignity. Did she regret it at that moment? Perhaps. After all, no one else would risk their life to dive into the deep sea for her once innocent wish. My youthful dreams shattered, and 8 years of deep affection turned to nothing. It was Emily who repeatedly wielded a sharp blade in my heart, leaving me scarred and in agony.
How could I let her off so easily? I mustered all my strength to suppress the pain inside and retaliated in a low voice. Emily, do you really think that by fawning over James like a sycophant, his heart will come back to you?
She seemed powerless to refute my mockery but still tried to argue.
No, Alex, my heart belongs only to you.
Shut up. I don't believe a word you say. Admitting your true self is so difficult for you, or do you just want to have it both ways?
Her voice became hoarse, and her sobs grew heavier.
I really do love you. It was all my fault before. I'm sorry, truly sorry. Will you forgive me? I was just unwilling to accept it before. Why should someone as good as me be rejected by James? So I wanted to show my charm in front of him, to make him realize he was wrong. I was foolish. It was my mistake. Forgive me this once, please? I'm begging you.
Seeing her tear-streaked face and humble pleas, I turned away with a cold smile. Late affection is worth less than grass. My legs were slowly recovering, and I could walk normally again. And I received some good news. James's ex-wife had returned to the country. She came back with their 2 children. I heard from others that her family recently had a big business deal, and she returned so the children could have a father.
Bro, I still can't find out what Laura took James abroad for. Should we intercept them?
No need.
I hung up the phone, a slight smile playing on my lips. I didn't care about their love-hate relationship. Besides, I had no right to stop a couple from being affectionate. I had heard rumors that Laura had bought a large accidental insurance policy for James before they divorced. TSK. I hope I'm overthinking it. The thing that pleased me most was that the information I had paid to find out had finally come to light. The only annoying thing was that Emily clung to me like a persistent shadow. Every day, she cooked for me, bought me limited edition footballs, and tried various ways to make me happy. But I rejected her every time. Even the doctors and nurses at the hospital couldn't help but advise me that I'd regret not holding on to such a girlfriend. Emily overheard this once and began her pursuit. These insincere gestures I accepted with pleasure. I recorded everything with my phone, including her previous ambiguous posts on social media. Since she wanted to portray herself as deeply affectionate, I didn't mind exposing her. So people wouldn't say I was ungrateful. After a month of her perfect wife act, it completely collapsed under my videos. Her social media was flooded with insults, and some netizens even wanted to find her address.
This woman is so shameless. She crippled his leg and now plays the victim. Yeah, 8 years of genuine affection, all wasted in an instant. Two timing so blatantly, isn't that just typical behavior?
Netizens rallied to support me. Many joined in cursing Emily. Of course, James wasn't spared either. Many netizens posted videos of him being dismissed by his coach abroad for not following rules. They criticized that someone with such a bad record shouldn't represent the country. Amidst the countless insults, James had no choice but to leave the country with his ex-wife. Seeing Emily's dejected face, I felt an unusual sense of satisfaction. The person she was so sure of had left her again. In the end, she was still alone. I never imagined that the return of that man would strip me of everything, even the most important part of my life. The excruciating pain pierced through my bones as I struggled in the rain, screaming.
Emily, you heartless woman, you'll regret this.
She not only stole my ability to move but also snatched away my dreams, my future. From now on, I'd never sweat on the field I loved again. She left me with nothing, trampling my dignity into the ground. I hated her so much. So much. What Emily didn't know was that as the video gained attention, the incident of my injury was brought up online again. I not only found a witness but also obtained the video he had.
I saw everything, Alex. I can help you bring Emily to justice.
The next time we met was in court. I was the victim, and Emily was the perpetrator. This time, the evidence was undeniable. 8 years of relationship ended with her imprisonment. In court, Emily's gaze was fixed on me, her eyes full of disbelief.
No, Alex, you wouldn't do this to me, would you?
Seeing her breakdown, I found it laughable. If she could be so cruel and heartless to me, why couldn't I defend myself?
Alex, if I accept the punishment, will you forgive me when I get out?
Even if you were gone, I would never forgive you.
Her face turned pale, a shadow of sadness clouding her eyes, her lips trembling multiple times, but she couldn't utter a word. I didn't look at her despairing expression and left the rest to the lawyer as I turned and walked away. Feeling the sunlight outside, I stumbled forward.
Alex, I recommend you see an internationally renowned recovery expert. He might be able to help you.
I planned to visit him personally. As I was leaving, I received news of James's passing. He had a car accident on his way to a banquet, which caused the car to catch fire. He perished in the flames. But all of this no longer had anything to do with me. My life would start anew.